Hi, Sammy here, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about LinkedIn profiles. Specifically, I'm going to talk about how you really need to use your profile as a foundation of everything that you're going to do on LinkedIn, because your profile is not just kind of where you're hanging your hat on LinkedIn. It's literally how people will find you. It's what attracts them. It's what lets them know kind of what your expertise is and how you want to position yourself on LinkedIn. One thing that people don't realize about LinkedIn is that it's very keyword focused. Search engine optimization, SEO, is very much something that you need to keep in mind when you're building your profile. Because when you are creating your profile, you need to avoid the mistake that most people make, which is making their profile look like a CV where they put everything they've ever done on there. Now, you might be wondering, why is that a bad thing? Aren't I supposed to put my resume there? Aren't they supposed to know what I've done, especially if you're a job seeker? Here's this thing. You can put and upload an actual CV on there to let people know, but when you're actually using LinkedIn, putting everything that you've ever done can make it so that you get weird results and weird searches coming towards you. You'll get maybe irrelevant messages because how people use LinkedIn is using the search engine to find people, and they're using keywords to do that. So let me open up my LinkedIn and actually show you what I am talking about, because it's easier to see it, and then you'll be able to understand more. So let me share my screen. Okay, now you see LinkedIn. It's shiny, it's beautiful. This is the opening look of it. Now when we go to a profile, let's go to mine, you'll notice that with my name, my headline, and other areas, I have a lot of keywords. So I put resume, LinkedIn writing, personal branding, career development. That is because I specialize in that. If you go down my activity, you'll see companies that I've either founded or I work for, had contracts with, etc., and they're all using very specific keywords in my demographic. What you won't notice is the fact that I had a previous career. I used to be a librarian. You can see my degree, which is a master's of library and information science. However, I do not put that, all the jobs that I had in that field, because what happens is that you get a lot of irrelevant jobs sent to you. And I was having the issue of people emailing me about doing librarian work. And why that's important, because that place where I just clicked, it shows you all your search terms. So you want to make sure that when people are searching for you, that they're using the right sort of keywords. So career coach, coach. I'm getting more people are doing a user experience specialist, but that's just because those are the people who usually are finding me. But in general, these are pretty good. People are still kind of getting the right picture of what I do. And then I can see with my searchers that they're all in the same kind of realm that I want them to be. That's kind of a higher level strategy, but if you're ever wondering why you're getting a bunch of weird results or like weird messages from recruiters or irrelevant, even if they're relatively normal, it's because your profile is not optimized. Now that I've given that disclaimer on what you really need to think about when you're creating your profile is keeping the keywords in mind. If you are a job seeker, those keywords are the difference between an inbox full of spammy, irrelevant messages from recruiters or having messages that actually could push your career. Now, let's talk about what you can do to have a good LinkedIn profile. Now, the first thing to understand is, much like your resume, the top of your profile is the most important. If you don't catch a person with this top area, you will not have them scroll down and learn more about you. So one thing to understand is that your banner image right here, this should be something that's on brand or showcasing one of your projects. For me, I have my podcast featured here, also with an award that I got from a career coaching website. So that shows my brand, it shows one of my projects, it also is some prestige building because it shows an award that I've gotten. You might want to think about how you can take maybe a screen cap from one of your portfolio projects. My picture is one where it shows my face, I'm smiling, I look approachable, my hair looks good. Just make sure that you don't have a picture that looks like a selfie or one where it looks like you crop somebody out of it. Just have somebody take a picture of you with maybe a neutral background of some kind. Next thing to know is that I have a headline right here that is firmly presenting myself. So I say what I do, who I work with, and then I have some keywords for different skills and services that I offer. So a UX designer might have something that says, you know, UX UI designer, wireframes, prototyping, something like that. You want to make sure that this area is suitable for both a computer and a human to read, because your picture, your name, and this headline, that's the only thing that's going to show in a search result. So if you don't have that on point, or it's written weird, or it's one of those vague statements that designers love to have where they're like, I designed elegant solutions for elegant people, probably not the best. So another thing to notice is that there's a contact info right here. You are going to want to make sure that you put your business email, the website that you actually want people to go to, on here. So this is a good place to drop your portfolio link, social media, and other things. Make sure it's just stuff where you want people to contact you at or to go to. Another thing to know is that wherever you have these blue pencils, you can edit that section. So when you click that, a whole thing comes up where you can edit this area. Keep in mind that if you're adjusting your headline right there, that when you add a new job, sometimes it will try to change that. So be mindful when you're switching things about. If you're ever concerned that you maybe might make a mistake in updating your profile before you start, you can actually save what you have right to a PDF. And that way you can feel a little bit more secure. Now you'll notice that I have 500 plus connections. The more connections you have on LinkedIn, the better your search results will be. The more likely people can find you. So to actually get more traffic, you need to connect with more people. I'm going to do another video that's going to be all about how you can hack the search engine, how you can kind of use the degrees of connection for yourself, but keep in mind that you want to have more connections. This is really important if you want people to see your content, your profile, if you want people to be able to find you. You do not want to be a best kept secret on LinkedIn, or else it's not going to be useful for you at all. For your about statement, this is where, depending on who you are, you can, for me, since I do a lot of freelance work and I market my own business, I have my about me statement kind of like a sales page where I do pretty much copywriting. And honestly, you can do that too. Just keep in mind what your audience, aka HR, aka recruiters, design leads, those sort of people need to see. So they want to have the first line, that's the most important. That needs to really be the meat and potato statement. So that's a good place for a job seeker to put, I have X number of experience, X number of years of experience, I can do this and this, I am with that, whatever. That's not going to be the place where you want to put a quote from Maya Angelou or something like that. Save that for down below. You want to make sure that that first line counts. The next thing to know is that you can put more keywords in this area. I do have extra keywords that I have hashtagged. I also put keywords in the actual thing. So I will talk about professional brand, job markets, career strategies, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm dropping keywords all throughout my summary. This generally should always end, even for a job seeker, with some sort of call to action, whether it's telling folks that you're open for opportunities and to message you, or if you are interested, in speaking to recruiters, something. Let people know, like after they read this, what action they can take. So that's going to be a little bit about your summary. It doesn't need to be super long, but it needs to really be something that's going to persuade someone to reach out to you if they have a job. Now, you'll notice that I have media right here. You can have more than 2, but I like to have at least 2 because it adds some visual interest. I have a video that I did in Berlin when I did a talk there. I have a testimonial from a former client. So I try to have things that are prestige building, that showcase my personality, who I am, what people's experience have been working with me. Now with your activities, keep in mind that whenever you have an article that you post, it will stay on your profile forever. So here's the area for that. But let's go down to your experience. Now, for your experience, you can put the jobs that you have had. You can put volunteering, internship, contract projects. The thing to know about your job experience that you're going to put here is that you're going to want to make sure that you are having job titles that make sense. You can also have in your job descriptions more things that have to do with either keywords. For me, I am using this as a sales page, so I don't have as many bullet points as people do because I use my job descriptions as just a continuation of my About Me page, but for a job seeker, you can just have bullet points of what you did. You mostly just want to make sure that you have the good keywords right here. So that's something where even if your company called you the voice of the client or something like that, just put the more industry accepted job title. And keep in mind that if you worked for a company in a variety of positions, like for Career Foundry, I've done coaching, consulting, recruitment for them. So I just add another job description under there. I like to add media to each of my job descriptions. I usually put like testimonials or something like that so people can see what I've done. For my role with the AIDS Foundation, I put one of my PowerPoints that I did that was well represented. People really liked. This just makes your profile look visually interesting so people want to check it out. I would suggest for a designer that they put screen caps of their work, maybe links to their portfolio, things that make it so that people don't have to go to another place to find an idea of their work so they get intrigued. Because on the internet, people don't like to click away from the stuff. With my education, you don't have to go all day with this, but I just make sure that I have a bit of media on here. I could clean this up, I just haven't yet, but it's not that crazy important, for me at least. For someone who's a career changer into design, you're gonna want to use this area to either mention your training program, the techniques that you use to kind of fill this up with keywords. Endorsements, here's the thing that you should do is add your new skills, and you can actually adjust them. So you can actually, by moving these little lines, you can actually move the right skills up there. It does not seem like having more people endorse you really does anything. However, these do kind of help your keywords. So you want to make sure that you have some relevant keywords on there. Like I added a bunch of stuff with career coaching and leadership and stuff like that. So you'll think about what you need to add on here, but make sure that the top 3 are crucial skills for your new career. So for me, I have career strategist, resume writing, career development. See, and then you have recommendations. I would ask people to give you recommendations, and if you have old ones that maybe you don't like, you can take them off, you can have them be shown, whatever you feel. You can even ask people to, if they make a mistake or misspell your name, which happens to me all the time, you can ask them for a revision. But I like having recommendations. The best way to get recommendations is to give them. Your accomplishments here, they don't really do too much. I've seen some, like I was working with this one lady who is going to a UX program at a college, but she hired me because her career services program is non-existent. And she had a professor who kept telling her to put her courses and projects in this area. Nobody really looks at this, to be honest with you. Like, you can add some stuff if you need to do some more keyword packing in this accomplishments area, but nobody cares. Even with your projects, if you have a really cool UX project that you did, you might as well just put it up here with your experience. However, I don't recommend that you put your educational experience in your job experience area. If you are with Career Foundry, if you have done a university program, it doesn't matter if you did a ton of projects there, just keep it in your education area. So you don't want to misrepresent yourself as a employee. However, let's say you did an internship at Bird, or you did a project for Hulu as part of your program, you could put your experience as, you know, university project with Hulu or something like that. So those are some things to think about with your profile. Now, as I've gone through, you might have gotten some ideas on what you could do. Now, let's check out a good profile so you can kind of see what a UX designer's profile looks like. Now, I'm going to highlight Kaya here. Now, why am I doing that? Because she was actually able to get a job with just her profile. Now, LinkedIn can be kind of buggy, so sometimes your banner does not show up. She actually does have a very nice banner here, but for some reason it's not showing up. But why I'm focusing on hers is because she had one project which was amazing, and she was updating this and optimizing it, and she actually ended up getting approached and recruited directly by a CEO of this one company. And keep in mind, she's very much a career changer. She's done like artist stuff, child development, things like that. So, you know, it's not like she was, you know, somebody who had a bunch of, you know, design experience before. She was an artist, but she wasn't a UX designer. But she created a good profile that has her skills. She talks about her languages. She even put her degree for people who are not going to scroll down. And then, most importantly, she put her project up here. And it was a damn good project. So these are the reasons why you don't have to have the most fancy project or the most fancy portfolio or the most fancy profile, but you need to optimize it so people can actually find you when they're looking for somebody like you. So that is an example of somebody who did actually optimize their LinkedIn and do a very good job at it and get some results. So when we go back to mine, I want to emphasize the fact that you can edit things with this button right here that has the pencil. You can have multiple languages for your profile. You can add multimedia. You can do a lot. What I would suggest is that you really think about your goals. What do you want with your LinkedIn profile? What are you searching for as a job? And make sure that your profile is reflecting that, because you will attract the traffic that, you know, you put the keywords in for. So make sure that you always have that in mind, and then LinkedIn will be a lot more useful for you. So I hope this was a helpful video. I look forward to your questions, and I hope you have a great day.